So welcome everyone who is on the Cynthia J Show. I'm your host, Cynthia J, right here based out in the USA on the East Coast. So go ahead and chime in and invite some friends and family. Go ahead and share the link for those who do not know. You can find me on Restream Live. You can also find me on YouTube Live under Cynthia J. And you can also find me on Instagram at cynthiajgospel live as well. Today, we're going to be having a podcast topic on episode 27. Again, for those who are new to me, who are on TikTok, just know this is my first time actually doing a podcast live right on here on TikTok. So go ahead and hit that like button, chime in. Welcome, Tay. Welcome, Ocean Lover. Welcome, you guys. Miguel, all of y'all, welcome. Go ahead and share this. This podcast is here for the whole us women accountable. Brothers are welcome to join in. My men, you know you're welcome. Also, you can share this podcast with your nieces, your aunties, your grandmothers, your mother, whoever it may be. This is a podcast that is holding us women accountable to help encourage us, to uplift us, and to also help with correction. Because sometimes, every culture and background is different. And we living in a society where we are not doing things as normally as we should be doing as women. And things have been taken a little more out of content than what is normally. So go ahead and hit that button and share, like, subscribe, and show some love. So anyway, today's topic is going to be on episode 27. Where we are doing the title on Women Have Been Conditioned Deeply in Westernized Culture. This is episode 27. Again, it is based off a topic where women have been conditioned deeply. Have we women been conditioned deeply in Westernized culture? Think about that. So that's a good question to ask ourselves as women, as young ladies, those who are new to the worldly perspective, those who are out here getting ready to flock their wings and fly out into the world, and those who are already been watered and already have been well seasoned. This is a great topic to talk about. Coming from different genres of life, from international to national, we all have different backgrounds and ethnics. And some of us moved to the United States of America, and we tend to lose our culture, or those who have been grassrooted in the United States of America tend to lose their culture because we are bringing in a westernized governmental environment where we're changing our life for what reason. And so I come across a lot of women from all genders, no matter where you're from. And once you get to the United States, and this is not to talk bad about the United States. This is just to say that once you come into the U.S., a lot of what you have grown up and taught yourselves and learned from your grandmothers, your aunties, your uncles, whoever it may be. But this is more geared to my sisters, but brothers, you are definitely welcome to chime on in. We tend to what we were naturally taught and be brought up in a westernized culture. When you lose what your ancestors have taught you, you lose what your grandmother and your aunties and those who were there, who knew the remedies, who knew the, not just traditions, but things that geared you into the life of the present and for the future. So with that being said, this topic asking us, have we been deeply conditioned and westernized? I believe we have, not just because I believe, it's a fact. If you go out here now, we're stuck in so much of a modern westernized medicine. And this is not to down the doctors or to disagree with everything they do, but hate to say it, if you look back into times where your grandmother, if you had a cough or a cold or whatever it was, you tend to, hey, grandma, what was the remedy? Grandma gave you whatever she would as a tonic or a herb that was around. You may eat, you may drink. Hey, whatever it was used. Now we've been so westernized and conditioned to, hey, the first thing you do is go to the doctor. And then they give you a medicine that immediately already has a chemical in it. So with that being said, that's something that you definitely have to, be careful with, because a lot of times, you're putting your body into a a new thing. So when I talk to a lot of my brothers and sisters, especially those who I talk to a lot who are already here, who come from other cultures and countries, they can tell the difference in the food. Well, guess what? The mothers, the aunties, the sisters are the main ones who are the ones that's going to be held in charge of our health. That's why I say, are women being westernized? Because we are being westernized, in a culture now, because we're losing what was taught to us. And by us losing what was taught to us, we tend to get comfortable with this new genre of Western medicine. So with that being said, instead of you trying to go to the doctor now and just seeing what the problem is, you go to the doctor and you go ahead and take the medicine. I come and see a lot of people now. And by the way, I am a certified herbalist. Also, I am a birth and doula. For those who don't know, on TikTok, I am a certified birth and doula and healer. I don't just do podcasts. I'm also a psalmist. So with that being said, I come across a lot of brothers and sisters, and I was one of them too. I used to say, hey, eat right, do this, and go to the doctor and listen what the doctors say, until I realized that everything I was taking from the doctor was doing more damage to me than good. And then when I went up there and started changing my eating and thought back to what my grandmother gave me and what I was using, and remember, hey, how to carry myself as a woman and things of whatever the nature was, then that's when I started seeing the change that was going on within me. And then I started seeing my health come back. I also started seeing the way I was carrying myself and presenting myself as a lady. So being in a westernized culture, it's just not about just medicine and your health alone. It's also pertaining to, your lifestyle. Are you still traditionally doing things that you would do in a normal basis with your family? Are you still sitting down at the dinner table eating with your family? Now these days, families don't even sit down and eat together anymore. We'd be in one room and then we'd be in another room, and then somebody might be upstairs, or they're going to someone else's house eating and not eating at home with the family. So you're coming across a lot of this going on, and TV, internet, any type of electronic device has been more of a brainwashing new thing that is causing people to be westernized. And it starts at home. It starts with mom and still dad too as well. So with that being said, the mother is the first one who is the one that tends to go out here, and you got to make sure that the child is fed. You also got to make sure you're bringing in the right nutrition and having the right things that you need to give the right nutrition. You also got to make sure you're educating your child with the right things, because even in the school systems over here, for those who don't know, in the public system in the United States of America, the first thing that people think is, hey, I got to go to the United States and get a better education and get this and get my master's degree and so forth and so forth. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't down on the U.S. I'm from the U.S. I don't down on it. However, when it comes to those who are handling our food, like the FDA over here, and then you got the government putting their ends on it with the CDC and so forth, that now when you're out here, it's like, what am I to do? What am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to say, to those who, as women, take more time into educating yourself more of what we lost. Educate yourself more in what we lost, what we need to be studying more. You don't have to get a big degree to go out there. And I'm not knocking nobody who has it, but you don't have to have a big degree to go out there and to self-educate with herbs. Get into agriculture. This is something we don't even talk about with our children to do. Get into agriculture. Agriculture is learning, the land, the environment. Get into more of, other science things that still deal with partially agriculture and herbs. Get into knowing how to go back to the first love, teaching how to survive without technology, because it's going to come a time when technology might just go plop. And I've had a question that was asked and also was a discussion that was said with me and a sister, where she said, can you imagine how would us be if we had a blackout? Think about that. How would it be if we had a blackout? And that's a good question. We hear about it a lot. We talk about it a lot. But again, how would we be if we had a blackout? How would our children be if we had a blackout? This generation don't even know how to even live without even know how to live without any electronics. They don't even know how to live without it. So with that being said, think about that. This is something we have to teach them. We have to teach them to go back to the basis. The basis of when you was a kid, you used to make mud pies, to the basics in climbing trees and being with nature. Go back to the basics of knowing how to sew, knowing how to make jewelry, knowing how to make pottery. We made it out of clay. To get back to those basics. At the same time, still gain knowledge on what is necessary. I'm not saying that we got to go back further into the Stone Age, but enough where we won't forget how to do for self. Because today's self is not the self what it was back then. That's why we are losing so much of our natural culture, earthly culture, that we get so Western man-made eyes that we forget all about how to use these hands that we was given to sew, to cook, to heal, to get out there and to do gardening, to cut your grass, connect with nature, to do all sorts of things, to be creative, to write music, to play a guitar, a acoustic guitar, and all the instruments that are out there. Children they're losing it. They're losing it. They are losing it. And that is something that we really have to take the time to go back and remind them. As y'all see, you see other podcasters out here who are talking about these things, who are doing TikToks and Instagram reels, Facebook reels, and they going out here and they letting people know what's going on. We have went from sleeping to woken, and now we're awake for some, but the rest of us have awakened. And we have to really tap back into the first thing that got us to where we're at. That goes as women who, if you've been so colonized to the point that you don't know how to cook your food. I have seen sisters out here who say, I don't know how to cook now. Don't know how to cook. Welcome everyone who's just checking in right now. Welcome, welcome, love. Who don't know how to cook, who don't know herbs, who don't know seasons, who don't know any of these things, who don't know about the health of the body. I mean, I didn't either. I can't sit here and say to you that I know it all, yet I'm learning, yet I'm going out here to learn more, to grasp more, I'm hungry for it. So I got to get out here and learn it and be hungry for it, because it's only a few of us chosen ones who are really out here to take the time to get up here and to speak the truth. And I got to give credit to, I'm not saying I'm praising them, but I'm giving credit to those who created these devices, because if you think back then, people wasn't able to speak and be on electronics like this where it can go across the nations. Back then, it was more of you had newspaper and radios. And even then, it had to be word of mouth. So now this is a new way of word of mouth to all of us to get out here and realize as women and men. And again, I kudos and salute my brothers, the men out there, because, at the end of the day, us women still need y'all. And for those who are really being men, I kudos to you again, because it takes a real men out here to handle the business. Not every man is a man. And kudos to my sisters who are actually taking the time to chime in again. Share, hit that like button, follow, send this to someone who needs it, because there was a time where nobody educated me. Nobody gave me enough knowledge that I have now. I only had a little bit of flavor. I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough season to season me back then to know the difference in what was necessary. I only grew up knowing what I knew, but I will say this, that didn't change. I'm so glad that I grew up in a time where I had both sides of my grandparents who were in agriculture, who grew gardens. I used to be out there in the field snapping string beans, the people call snap beans. String beans. I used to be out there pulling the kale, the cabbage, the mustard greens, the turnip greens. We had cantaloupe. We had seeded watermelon. We also had corn, amazing tomatoes. This is stuff that I got to actually experience. And I'm so glad that I got to actually experience these things. And as I was experiencing these things, I got to watch my grandmother learn how to sew. A lot of generation now as women, because we're so westernized, we forget how to sew. We forget how to sew. We forget how to cook. If you think back to the time of our ancestors, they knew how to do these things. The women were over there teaching the younger women how to knit, how to sew, how to make jewelry, how to do a lot of things. And I mean, it was to a point where you'd be like, wow. Sorry, guys, give me a chance to top this podcast off for a little bit, and I'll try to chime in, with TikTok and inviting you guys. And so give me a moment, okay? And so with that being said, it just made you learn to appreciate. It made you learn to value. And I know for me, I loved it. We had a peach tree. We had an apple tree. This is what us young girls were out there doing. Now you don't have that over here too much if you're in the city side of the United States of America. A lot of the children over here, they don't get to experience that if they're living in the city. If they a little bit in the country, it's a little bit okay. Again, it's not enough hands-on. So then you rely on the grocery stores. You rely on, other supermarkets and stuff like that. And you don't know where these products are coming from. So now women, we're getting so used to going to the grocery store, just picking out what we think we know and cooking it at home, calling it healthy. But this whole entire time, we don't even know where in the world that tomato came from. Even if it says Mexico, who to say it really came from Mexico? Even if it said Brazil, who's to even say that product really came from Brazil? You get that a lot. And it's like, okay, well, how do we know if these products are really authentic? I got to go give kudos to one of the amazing brothers, Yaki Awakening. For those who know about him, I know you guys see his TikToks, his Instagrams, his YouTube feeds. He has been putting out there. He's definitely studying. He has his background more into that. For those who don't know, he definitely, give all kudos and much love to our elder doctor. Save you, rest well with the ancestors. He has done a lot of that. You also come across Billy Carson, all of these amazing brothers out here, even sisters. I got to give my love and my respect to Queen Kia. She's been in the game for a long time, and many other amazing elders who knew this stuff, who didn't have technology, who has it now. And they're using us younger generation to promote their products. They're using us younger generation to get them out there and to be able, so people know that they're there. So if you have any health issues, if you have any issues, with work or other trades or stuff that you desire to want to know more about, they're there. So I say to you, my sisters, if you have caught yourself being so deeply conditioned in this westernized culture, step back from it. Step back from it some, because you don't desire no one to lose your way from what our mothers, our grandmothers, our ancestors left for us. Because if you do, what do we have to give the next generation? Peace and love. Welcome to those who are on Instagram. Welcome those who are on streaming Facebook Live and on TikTok. Welcome again. Go ahead and chime and hit that like button and share, guys. And so with that being said, what do we have to pass down? The only thing we had to pass down to them now, most of all, is technology. You got technology. You got what else besides technology? Work. Because we're going to work forever. And people don't know here in the United States of America, once you get over here, you work forever, and you're born into whatever you're born into over here, especially if your parents sign that dotted line on the birth certificate. That's it. You were owned by the U.S. government. The same government that turned around and is trying to get rid of TikTok. The same government that's trying to control what we say on here on live, guys. They're trying to control everything. They send their agents every day on every social media there is. They don't care where they at. They don't care if they show up at your front door of your home. We have so many brothers and sisters out here who are really on the A game, who is really taking the time to get out here and do some of the research, study, give you this knowledge. Because like, the word says, my people perish by the lack of knowledge. If we don't get out here and be more knowledgeable on the right things, I'm not saying that everything is not necessary. Yet again, we cannot lose focus on the things that will make us fall back and put us back. Because if you think about it, when you started learning these new things and now you're awakening into a different dimension, and you're like, oh my God, why didn't I know about this before? You know why you didn't know about it before? Because they didn't want you to know about it before. It's only a selective group that's supposed to know about it. So that's why they're fighting against people like people that if you in certain medias, they're trying to knock them down. Especially those who are Black, especially those who are not Black, even those who Caucasian, even those who wherever you're from. When they find out you know the facts and the truth of what it is, they want to shut you down and they want to stop you from what you are doing. This is not a platform to be argumentative. This is not a platform to discredit. This is not a platform to discourage, but it's to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and give you the truth and the facts that go with it. So what are you about to do? What are you going to do? Peace and love, brother. What are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? It's the question. Child of God, welcome. Thank you guys for all the roses. I love you. I love it. Love it. Keep sending it, guys. And so with that being said, what are we going to do about it? It takes more than one person. It's just like, how some people, they go out here and they want to vote. And they say, oh, we'll vote this president in. In order to vote this president in, the community of the people got to do it, right? So as a community of a people, my sisters, what are we going to do to stop being so westernized? Embrace your natural beauty. Learn the trades. Teach your sons and your daughters, your nieces, your nephews. Even if you got to remind those. Even though if you got to remind those who have lost their way. Because sometimes they need a little bit of reminding. What's happening? What's happening? I see you, brother. You got to remind. So for those who just chiming in, the topic is basically on women. Have we been conditioned deeply in the westernized culture? I say that for my sisters, but this also can include for my brothers. We get caught up in vehicles, the finest cars, the finest clothing, name brand. And you making and putting the money right in the pocket of those you don't even realize making them rich off of. I'm like, for real, think about that. How can we build back and circulate back in your community? Circulate in your community, because it starts at home first. That is your first community, your home base. What you teach your children, what you feed your children, what you show them when you're teaching them, all these things. It starts when, just like how we were when we was kids. I see your sister up there on Instagram. And to me, that goes to show that whatever you teach, and if they're willing to learn, and they realize by their spirit that, hey, you know what? I think they're right about this. Let me go up in here and do a little bit more. Because like when I tell my spiritual children and my daughter, I always tell them, I said, as I'm teaching you, still go and study and research it for yourself. Because you might go further than I will. You will go further than I will and catch something that I didn't catch, that I didn't grasp, that I might have missed. Think about that. Something that I might have missed that you will not miss. So to my brothers and sisters out there, if you have a niece that's out there, if you have a mother or someone you know that's like a mother to you, get them out there and tell them to teach the young women. Don't get so caught up in the stuff you see on TV and social media so much that, and when I mean social media, I'm talking about the things that have no value. Be careful of the things that have no value. You right, you cooking. I love to cook. I gotta admit, I can cook. What for the sisters out there and for my new young ladies out there, you know how to cook, cook. If you're gonna burn something for the first time, that's okay. But keep learning, keep practicing. Even if you didn't have a grandmother or auntie teach you, keep learning and keep practicing. Go to someone who you look up to, who gives you guidance to help you. Go out there, because one of them out there is going to teach you. But then as you learn, also learn from others. Oh, you stay on the mic. Well, still learn how to cook though. But anyway, still learn how to cook. Still, because I'm telling you, I meet a lot of people that eat out more, who don't eat food that has value. And I'm seeing sisters do that. Also, this is kind of a little off the topic, but it still flows into the topic a little bit. To my sisters, stop being westernized by what you see. There's no offense to each your soul, yet I have to be 100% real with you. With the BBLs, for those who don't know what that is, they're getting these Brazilian butts, these fake butts. Stop doing it to yourself. Stop overdoing it. You're beautiful. Embrace your natural beauty. I have people ask me all the time, oh, is that, the new thing now, you see women with the crocheted lock hair. Well, honey, this is not crocheted. This is my hair. All of this is my hair. Embrace it. Embrace your natural beauty. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of makeup to enhance it, but embrace it. Love it. Learn. Teach your daughters. Like now, I've been teaching my daughter how to try to carry herself more as a young lady. Just because you see what you see on YouTube or anywhere else, which is westernized culture now, doesn't mean that that's supposed to be you. It's not. Just because you see someone else do it doesn't mean you're supposed to do it, my sisters. So she's learning about herbs. She's learning how to cook. Got a sewing machine. She's about to learn that next. She knows how to do her little beads. She knows how to do these things. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if she wouldn't learn how to fix the car or something. Or go out here. She's still learning. She even potted her first few plants. This is something you can still do. It doesn't matter how old you are. Still do it even as an adult. If you don't have a green thumb, sisters, learn. Learn. Get your hands dirty. Get your fingernails dirty. There's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, someone, what's happening, Ben up Latin? Someone is going to call upon you to help the next generation. Someone is going to call upon you to help the next generation. Because if you've been paying attention what's going on out here, you better pay attention more now than ever before. It is so much going on out here. Look at the air quality. We need to be teaching our kids science more. Get out here and learn how to be, and not just in agriculture, but also in science in all factors. What type of plant to use to help for air quality? What type of fluids to drink and to have? What to watch out for? Because like I said, over here in the United States, a lot of things is changing and they're controlling a lot more of our resources, like our water and our food. And you already know who's trying to be behind the food. Everybody knows about Bill Gates. Come on. Yet again, think about that. We need to have the time to really pay attention and to see that, hey, this is what this is. What can we do about it? Well, it starts with the women. Us women. We have to learn to change what we thought was helping us. What we thought was helping us. We have to go back to the first, and that's learning herbs. We have to get our hands dirty. I repeat all these again for those who didn't hear. We also have to teach our young women and ladies how to really do hair naturally. Don't get me wrong. I used to have the synthetic hair with the braids and the weave and all that. But when I stopped using that stuff and putting chemicals on my scalp, I was like, oh my God, I can feel a big difference. Even with my food, I feel a big difference. I love my fruit. I eat fruit all day, every day if I could. And that's another thing. I was talking to a friend of my husband's, and I love what she said. She said, we don't eat every day. And to hear that she teaches her children, because she was taught properly, and some things she's learning too, just like we all are. The kids don't eat every day. And there's times where they fast. That's good. You're allowing them to spiritually and physically cleanse the body, because we are constantly in toxic environments. We're toxic in food, water, toxic in air quality, mentally toxic to the type of people we come around with who have the type of energy that vibrates negatively. And you're around that. Like, I can be somewhere and I can sense the presence of certain people, and I'll be like, ooh, something ain't right. Something don't feel right. You know, I feel those things. And not everybody can, because some people ignore that stuff. But it's very important that you try your best to eat right. You try your best to be in an environment. And I know we all got to work. We got to take care of home. And this is another conversation I had with a spiritual niece of mine. I said, if you feel that your environment is causing an issue, fall back some. Fall back some. I understand we all need jobs. Hey, Kia. Welcome, love. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, CLB0709. Welcome, love. And so, anyway, with that being said, I understand that, you know, you can only do but what you can. But don't give up. Don't fall back. Keep pushing. Keep thriving. Because something is going to happen. And it's going to happen for the betterment. But it takes all of us. All of us. All women. To my sisters. What you going to do about it? What we going to teach? Are we going to teach our ladies, our young ladies, our future young ladies, that it's okay to go out here and shake their butts like we see up and down these feeds now? Every time I turn the TV, when I do watch TV, because I don't watch a lot of TV. When I turn the TV channel, that's the first thing I'm seeing. And I'm like, what is going on? When I'm up here and I scroll, that's the first thing I see. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I'm not even looking at something that even will say, hey, you know, because I'm watching this show, there's something that's similar to it that will bring it on in. No. 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 I didn't even watch anything that will bring it on in. So how in the world is this coming into my feed? So think about that. And the kids are watching that. Matter of fact, there was a video going around, and I know you guys saw this. Young boy, his mom and dad and them up in there doing some graphic stuff, and the little boy was trying to find something to eat. I'm like, are you kidding me? He around a whole bunch of women shaking booty cheeks, and I'm like, what is going on? This is what we bringing children in the world for? The woman. Everything about us is supposed to be elegant and sweet. Elegant and sweet. So why are we allowing ourselves to be so conditioned in the westernized culture to accepting so much stuff that ain't helping us? It is tainting us. It is causing us to demolish and lose value. To lose value. So what are we going to do about this? We're going to continue to let this stuff go on? Are we? Are we? That's just like, okay, this is a little off topic, but everybody know this year, for those who are over here in the US, that elections is coming again around the corner for the politicians. And so in some places like, let me say, Texas, because states, they can also create their own laws separate from the federal. And they're trying to stop reparation. They're trying to stop a lot of things, not just in Texas. They tried it in California. They tried it in every other state there is. And guess who the main ones is doing does the majority of the voting and believe everything so quickly? The women. I've even heard little kids learning this stuff in school now. And I'm like, how they learning this? And they can't even over here finish learning math. If you guys only knew that the school system over here is teaching only certain things, you'd be very surprised at what's really going on. And it's sad. So I always tell for the mothers, when you're there, homeschool your children. That was another thing. Our ancestors homeschooled. A part of sewing and cooking and all of that was homeschool. All of that was homeschooling. All of it. Now we're losing it. So with that being said, if you're not homeschooling your children, and yes, we all going to say, but I don't have time. I got to go to work. Who's going to watch the kids? Who's going to do this? Got to find daycare. Got to find a babysitter. Got to find family members to help you. Because you had those times in families, big families, we will help each other. That was a good way of not being so westernized. We had a traditional, we also had a really grassroots, deep-rooted culture where you all helped each other in your area to help build your children, to build young ladies and young men. Now, the struggle is for real. And, the struggle is for real. Some people say, oh, I don't have it. I got to work. I get it. Yet again, the struggle is for real. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Just saying. So again, to my sisters, why are we so deeply conditioned in a westernized culture? Is it because of what's being said out here on TV internationally that says, hey, we're going to make all this, or it says, hey, this is the country of freedom? Well, I'm going to tell you now, it's not the truth. It's not the truth. You will only have freedom when you learn to have freedom for self. You will only learn when you learn that it comes with a cost. You will only learn when you learn to teach, self-teach, and to self-educate self more. That's when you'll learn. So I say to all of us, again, what are we going to do about it? Thank y'all for chiming in today. But before I go, keep a lookout for all the things that's going out here, guys. Like they said, since the thing with Canada, which we already know what that's about. For those who are unaware that they were saying wildfires in Canada, I've had plenty of friends who came back from Canada, some who were from Canada and was just like, we don't even know what you're talking about. That they only seen it hit through places of Philly. So if you live in city areas, try your best to make sure you have humidifiers, very well plants like aloe vera and peppermint and eucalyptus, things that will heal in the air. Also make sure you're watching, what you eat. And it plays also a lot with the respiratory. Again, get more out there with nature. Nature is your best friend. Some people don't like to be outside. I understand. Some people are not able to. However, Just trust, have some faith that the great divine and our ancestors will make a way for you to heal, to be able to go outside, because some people really cannot go outside. But with that being said, also keep a lookout for more other things that are coming about. So, you know, I don't know why people always want to try to call you when they know you're doing a podcast. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, make sure you also keep your kids in tune. Let them know what's going on. You don't have to let them know everything, but let them know what's going on, to be watchful for, even in the schools. If you have children who eat for the new coming school year, who are out of school right now, this is the perfect time to get your watermelon with some seeds in it. Make sure they eat enough of that, some cantaloupe in the melon family, honeydew, papaya, mango, soursop, all these things. Make sure y'all eating plenty of it. For those who also are unaware of what else is going on here, I know y'all heard about that spacecraft thing. That's been a talk for the past whole month. So now I was always wondering to myself, how is it that the United States of America now is admitting, when the people have been trying to say it for years, that they have been seeing this stuff and they try to brush and hide that underneath the rug? Come on. For real? Just be on the lookout, guys, for everything that's going on around you. Don't believe everything off of the TV, the television. You hear? Television. For those who don't know what that means, please take the time to go look up that, because some people really don't know what that means. But other than that, y'all can follow me, like I said before, on Instagram. For those who are on Instagram, you can follow me on TikTok, Facebook, under cynthiajgospel for Instagram. That's the real Cynthia J on TikTok, and on Facebook, Cynthia J. You also can find me on Twitter too, under letter N _ anointed. I plan on going back to switch that and change it, God willing, if it's meant for me. However, and you can also find my music. For those who don't know, you can go on YouTube under Cynthia J. You can look up the song "My Story Is For Your Glory." You will also see that I'm also a birthing doula. So if you're in the East Coast side in the U.S. and you're looking for a birthing doula, definitely hit your sister up. All my information is connected to my link tree, for those who are unaware of it. But I thank you guys for actually taking the time to come and chime in with your sister. It has definitely been a pleasure and amazing to sit here and talk with you. If y'all don't follow other platforms, follow other platforms like Vicky Dilla, Tariq Nasheed, the Black Authority with Jason Black, the business, TBA on YouTube. And if you want to learn more about history, you can definitely find and look up Elder Kaba and The Voice. They have a lot of historical things up there that will even educate you on lost history that you are unaware about, that will help us to become more deeply rooted with the ancestors and not so westernized. So many other things out there. Go out there, get some of that sun, get some of that vitamin D. Don't let them tell you that that vitamin D is not necessary. It is necessary. Make sure you're drinking plenty of coconut water. For some people, I know y'all don't like coconut water. You got to be careful with certain waters. If you're drinking bottles, make sure it is alkaline based, and that it says alkaline with electrolytes in it. Make sure the electrolytes hasn't been added. Make sure it's not purified and oxidized. You'll catch a lot of water say purified and oxidized with alkaline, meaning it's been added. That means that water has been recycled again. If you're living in certain country areas where the water is pure and you got well water, drink it, bathe in it, let it heal. But make sure you get plenty of that coconut water in you, that H3O, because that's your best friend. Trust and believe. That really helps, because it said that drinking too much regular water can actually, and people don't know this. I didn't know, I was still learning, that drinking regular water, H2O, can actually dehydrate you too much. That's why a lot of people who would, this is back then when I was still, learning, before I became an herbalist, that when you drink it too much, that's how a lot of people, especially women, get edema, because your kidneys is taking all that in. So then you retain more fluid, and you never notice you get swollen around here, and that salt has nowhere to go. So the salt for those who are eating foods that are not live, then you turn it around, you need to flush that out. You'll get that coconut water in you. The potassium helps balance out the salt intake. But still make sure right now, the summer and springtime is the time you need to be eating all your raw fruits and vegetables. For real, it is the best cleanser of all. So make sure you getting that in you. That makes you look young, take care of your skin. Get it. No joke. But other than that, join me next Thursday, same place, same time. I also will be on live with the I Am Show with Prophetess White, amazing sister who I got to be with at an amazing conference that was very healing. Got to meet a lot of vendors who sell a lot of natural products, who took the time to care about your health. And it was just amazing. I got to meet other birthing doulas and midwives and other amazing stuff and creators who had inventions. So please tune in to that. That will be on the end of this month. I will definitely share that flyer soon to come. But again, thank you for joining the Cynthia J Show. I am your host, your girl, your Cynthia J, your sister, your birthing doula, your psalmist who inspires and encourages and sends out inspirations, who is also your herbalist. So peace and love to those. Chime in with y'all next time. Don't be a stranger, for real. Don't be a stranger. I may not reach out very quickly. I have a lot of people that reach out to me sometimes, and it does get overwhelming because you have so many people that need the help. But I definitely try to give you to other people who do just as much as I do, because trust me, they say with 2 or 3 gathered, we become a fire and a force to be reckoned with. So just make sure y'all get out there, guys, and do what y'all do. Again, for those who on TikTok, I thank you guys for coming in and showing some love. For real, I enjoyed y'all so much. I really did. So stay tuned. Peace and love to everyone. Stay blessed. Be safe out there. For real, because people crazy. Peace and love, guys. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Thank you guys on Restream for chiming on in. May today be a blessing for you guys. Stay blessed. Stay protected. Stay covered. Get out there and do some new things. Don't let nothing stop y'all. And go ahead and share this. You can find this on YouTube. So look up Cynthia J, and you'll definitely find me out there. I thank y'all guys for chiming on in, showing your love and your support. Continue to show your sister some love and support. I see y'all next time, okay? Peace and love.